What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I'm here tonight with the review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 12, Episode 6, titled Where There's a Wig, There's a Way. So, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into tonight's video. Alright, so, the episode, we start up with Portia. So, we see Portia, she is meeting up with Tanya, who I love Tanya. Tanya is a cool girl to me. I don't necessarily know what they were doing. I thought maybe they were going to, one of those places where, you freeze the fat off of you, or, cool. I think it's called, is it called cool sculpting? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I thought that's what they were doing, one of those things where they get one of those cryo tanks and just have the fat frozen off of them. But no, they did this thing where they put it on her abs, her stomach, and it would contract as if she's doing, I think they said 1,000 or something sit-ups. Didn't quite put that down. So then they start talking about this wig line that Marlo's having. I'm like, Marlo has a wig line. I've heard it all. So, Tanya asked Portia, was she going? She said, yeah, I'm going. And then they're talking about, they're all on a text chain, a group chat. So it is Tanya, it's Eva, it's Cynthia, it's Nene, it's Candy, it's Portia, it's Tanya, it's all of the girls of the cast. I even believe they said Giovanna was a part of it. I don't remember. But, Tanya asked Portia, so is Kenya going? She's like, girl, Kenya is not going, because she said, Marlo called me, and, me and Kenya were together with the girls, with the kids, and, Marlo called her, and she's like, I told her, I got Kenya here with me. And she said, oh, yeah, well, you can tell Kenya she's invited as well. And Kenya was like, I'm not going to that. So that is it on that, thing. Kenya's not going, so we think. And then, Tanya's like, okay, I got a surprise for you. She says, I think all of us girls need to get together. We need to go somewhere. We need to go on a trip. And, Portia's like, okay, so where are we going? She says, hold on just a minute. I'm going to go, I'll change. So then Tanya comes in and she's telling her that they're going to Carnival. And man, Tanya's body is freaking fantastic. Man, I absolutely just, like, again, I got to say it. I love Tanya. I love Tanya just as much as I love Portia. So, they're going to go Carnival. I'm like, wow. Which I did see all the pictures of them when they went to Carnival. And they all looked amazing. I can't remember if I saw Nene. I'm pretty sure she went, but let's move on, you guys. That was it for Portia. All right, so next up, you guys, is Candy. So we see Candy. She and Todd are playing Connect Four, and oh my God, I want that Connect Four. Like, that was the shiznit. So, and then Kayla comes down there and she joins Candy and Todd. So, Candace asking her how was her trip to London. She says, oh, that was a good trip. She really enjoyed it. And you also remember, you guys, that they said that Kayla's moving to New York because she wants to pursue her dreams of being in the fashion industry. So, Todd says to her that he's very proud of her, and she's like, "Wow, that's kind of shocking." I'm like, "Why is that shocking?" And the reason why she said that is because she says Todd never really tells her how proud of her he is. The only thing that Todd really does to her is he fusses at her. And she says he's always mad, and that when it comes down to her talking to Todd, she typically goes through Candy to talk to Todd. Which, damn, that's really bad. If your child doesn't want to talk to you, that go through your wife, who's not even her mother. That's kind of sad. She's talking about how her mom always calls her. I think she said her mom calls her every day, but when it comes down to him, he's not that kind of parent that her mom is to her. And she's also telling him how he doesn't show emotion, and he just says he's just trying to get her prepared for what life is like. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if you can use that excuse, Todd, because that's not really a good one. But once she leaves, that's what he told Candy. And I'm like, because she's like, how do you feel about that? He was just like, that's how he was raised. But you have to think differently for her. She's a girl. And number two, you weren't always in her life. So, I mean, I would assume she just wants a supportive father. I'm not saying that Todd is not supportive, but I think Todd could do a better with his delivery. You know, because Candy was like he has a great relationship with Ace, and she's just worried about what's going to happen with Blaze. I don't think I mean, I think Todd is old school in the way that his mom raised him, but he has to get out of that. And I think he will. I know that I know that they did a speak on it last week, or they just did a video where he had went to the strip club twice after Blaze was born. So let's move on, you guys. This video might not be that long. So next up is Nene. So we see Nene and she's meeting up with Candy. So this is actually the first time that Candy has saw Nene since last year's reunion. Now Candy said that Nene was supposed to have come to her dungeon party, but I guess she didn't show up. It is what it is. So then Nene shows up and she's talking to Candy, and to me it just came off a little bit fake. I'm gonna tell you why it came off fake to me. So Candy asked Nene like what's going on with her. She's talking about her store that she has out there in Maryland at home. Maryland or DC, I can't remember which one. It was out there because I think I remember seeing that Karen Huger and some of the other Potomac ladies went out to support her when she opened that store. So I know it's in the DMV area. I just don't know if it's DC or if it's Maryland. But I think it's in DC if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's in DC. Don't quote me on that one, but I believe it's in DC. So, Candy also asked about Greg, and she says, Greg is cancer-free. He has to go get a checkup, I think she said every 3 months, and then they'll bring him back in. They'll do it in 5 years. And when they do another checkup, if there's nothing there, they'll just say it's all gone. Which I'm hopeful for Greg. Like, I really do like Greg. Greg is a stand-up guy on this show. And I just want, like I said, I just want the best for Greg. And her and Nene as well. I'm not going to shade her, so I just didn't agree with her last season with her playing the victim when it came down to Greg's situation. But that's neither here nor there. We want a new season, and we're going to let last season be last season. But here's my thing with Nene when she got messy. So she started talking about Portia. And, she was talking about this whole bestiality thing with Dennis. And she's like, oh, I was going to say, so she's like, you know people that know Portia's guy. So is any of this stuff true? And I'm like, you haven't even talked to Portia in God knows how long. Because if I'm not mistaken, so filming for Real Housewives of Atlanta, they started filming this season in late June, early July. I believe they started filming in late June, early July. Because they always filmed during the summer. So it was late June. I know it was late June. No. It was early June when they started filming this season. Early June. So they filmed this season in June. The reunion aired in oh God, when did the reunion aired? Because Potomac came on in April. So yeah. They filmed the reunion. Okay. No. Scratch that. That was before I got my car. So the reunion was about March or so. The March's area. So from March to June, you hadn't even had a conversation with Portia, but here you are asking questions about her relationship. And this is after she had her baby. This is after you talked about her weight. Like calling her a fat ass, calling her Miss Piggy, when you ain't want to talk about nobody's weight or size. You're not a size 2, Lanithia. So calm down on the fat jokes. Because you're built like a whole ass Range Rover. Just saying. But, so that's why I'm like, that's so fucking messy. So then they talk about, New York City with the Pride, with Pride. And Nene's talking about how things happen. She spoke to Cynthia spoke to her. And that was basically it. Then she also talking about, Cynthia did, again, she's talking about these interviews that Cynthia did. What really started it off was when Cynthia was on Watch What Happens Live. We all know when you go on Watch What Happens Live, Andy asked some of the messiest fucking questions. He did it tonight on Watch What Happens Live with Ashanti, because on tonight's show it was Ashanti and it was Eva, and he's and Andy always say Andy has a cue card, a card in front of him that tells him what he's reading, and the card it was a question for Ashanti that he said was from somebody on Twitter or Facebook or wherever. Now, I know the show is live, but it ain't that live that you can just, that somebody's just going. Well, it could be. It could be. But I doubt it is. I think sometimes Andy has those questions that he wants to ask, and he'll say it's coming from somebody on social media. But the question was about Ashanti's alleged affair with Irv Gotti. He asked her, about this interview with Wendy Williams, and Ashanti curved his ass. Like, he brought up the question, Ashanti curved him. Ashanti promoted her music, her movie, and whatever else she's got going on, and she did not answer that question. So, yes, we all know Andy's messy. And with Cynthia, this was after the reunion or before the reunion, whenever. I can't remember when she was on Watch What Happens Live. But I mean, they also did a fucking poll. And that's what she was answering from the poll question, because the fans were on her side. I actually remember that Watch What Happens Live because I watched it. So for Nene to sit there and talk about Cynthia did so many interviews, and then, she did to speak on it. Now Candy's trying to get her own speak on it to talk about, the season, which I also read a report today that she's unsure if she wants to come back for season 13 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. She'll be back, because where is she gonna go? No, and there's no shade to her. Where is she gonna go? She tried her hand at acting. She did good. She had that show, The New Normal, but it got canceled. And she did her little role on she did her role on Glee. So I'm not shading her, but she hasn't done anything since then. And Ryan Murphy has multiple other shows that he has. He has Pose. He has American Horror Story. He has now coming back Scream Queens. So Ryan Murphy has his hands in a lot of pots. Ryan Murphy has a lot of shows, and he has not put her on anything since The New Normal. So, again, I'm not shading her, but what would Nene, she got her stores, but I think she might want to keep her ass on this show, because remember, she left the show and then she came back to the show. So I think she might want to, rethink this and just say, hey, you know what? Because she doesn't like the stuff that's going on. It's been the same shit for the last the last 12 fucking years. Suck it up, sis, and you give as good as you get. So I'm not here for her. But then let's move into what she last talked about with Candy. So with Candy, she was telling her that Cynthia was talking talking shit about her with someone that they have a mutual acquaintanceship with, a friendship, whatever you want to call it, and they recorded her, and I'm like, wow, that's fucked up. This person, and I don't, with Cynthia, if I was Cynthia, if I said something about Nene and somebody recorded me, I'm like, shit, fuck it, I don't care. They can record whatever they want. They can take it to her. I don't give a fuck. In the famous words of Nene Leakes, I said what I said. And leave it at that. Well, let's move on, you guys. All right, so next let's talk about Cynthia. So we see Cynthia, Kenya, and Candy that went out shopping. So what Cynthia is now doing is she's trying to make room in her home for, she said, her soon-to-be fiance. Now we know that they're engaged, but good god damn, would you let that man propose to you? Like, come on, Cynthia. Just let Mike Hill propose to you. It's fine. If it takes him a year, 2 years, let the man propose on his own time. So then, Candy tells him that she met up with Nene, and also she informs Cynthia that, so, when I was talking to Nene, she told me that somebody that you two have in common as a friend was recording you when you was talking about her. So Nene now has that recording. And they were like, did you hear it? She says, no, I did not want to hear that recording. So Cynthia basically said what I just said a few minutes ago. Nene can do whatever she wants to do with that recording. If she want to take it and shove it up her ass, she can shove it up her ass. I don't give a flying fuck what you do with it. Now, do I believe Cynthia might have said something about, Nene? Absolutely. 100%. And I agree with what Kenya said as well. So Kenya said whoever did the recording, they should come, they should be woman enough, man enough, whatever, to say, hey, I did this recording. It is what it is. If you don't like it, oh well. If you don't like it, oh well. I don't care who likes it. I did it. What we gonna do now? How we gonna move forward? Let's keep it pushing. So then we see Cynthia. She's getting ready for Marlo's wig launch party. And I'm like, why would anybody buy a wig from Marlo? We saw Marlo get rid for filth by Eva last year when her wig wasn't tacked on, straight enough. So, Eva FaceTimes Cynthia, and Cynthia's telling her the same thing that somebody, recorded her when she was talking about Nene. Now, I'm kind of confused as to how Cynthia does not know who it was. Like, how many people do you and Nene have in common that you said something about Nene that might not be in the best light? And the person that kept coming to my mind, Eva said it and I said it, Giovanna. That's the only person that I can think of that would be that messy, because I feel like Giovanna wants a peach on this show. So I feel like Giovanna is going to be the one to say, hey, let me take this, be like Sheree and be a bone carrier, bone collector, and take it to Nene. But, but also, she's like, well, it could be Marlo as well. I'm like, I don't know. For some, as messy as Marlo is, I just do not believe it was Marlo. I literally put my money on Giovanna. And they do say that that some of the stuff will come back up later in the season. So we'll just see. Dang, what episode are we on? We already on 6? Shit. We on 6. So yeah, we'll see you guys. Tell me who you guys think is the person that recorded Cynthia, Giovanna, or Marlo. Moving on, you guys. All right, you guys, and then to wrap things up, Marlo's wig launch. So we see Candy show up, we see Cynthia show up, and we see Giovanna show up, and I'm like, what the hell does Giovanna have on? She looks a hot ass mess. So, it's so Cynthia, Giovanna, and Candy, they're sitting together. So Candy just comes right out and says, Giovanna, so Nene told me that somebody recorded, Cynthia talking shit about her. Was it you? Giovanna says, me? No, it wasn't me. I wouldn't do that. Yes, you would. Yes, you would. So, they're all having a good time. Portia shows up. Who else shows up? Portia shows up. I believe Tanya showed up. And then the Dark Cloud itself shows up. Nene. When Nene showed up, they all like, damn, we was having a good time until she got here. So, Nene, she's speaking to everybody. She hugs Cynthia. I'm like, wait a minute. Did she hug Cynthia? She went to speak to Portia. Portia curved her ass. I was like, yes, Portia, you do that. Because Portia's still pissed off about her, talking shit about her weight. And again, you're not a size 2, Nene, so calm down. So, we see them and they're doing a styling game. And it was Portia and it was Nene. And I'm like, of all people, y'all want Nene to style a wig? The same person who can't get her wig game right for shit. But okay. So then we see Kenya. She makes her grand entrance. And I mean a grand entrance. So she has her Kenya Moore, what is it called, you guys? The Kenya Moore hair care product? I can't think of the name of the product. So it said, one of the signs says, your edges matter. I'm like, oh my God. She's so petty. But I love it. And it's so funny. Marlo was a good sport about it because she did not flip out too badly until the end. When she realized everybody was over there talking to Kenya, she's like, oh no, you guys cannot talk to Kenya. Kenya gotta go. I'm like, okay. So then we see that Nene decides to leave, and I'm like, here you go again. This event was supposed to be for your good sis Marlo, but here you are making it about you. So Giovanna goes in behind her to say, what's going on, Nene? And she tapped on her window, and Nene said, girl, don't tap on my window again. Tap on my window again, and I'll fuck you up. I'm like, you would have thought that the bitch had a brick in her hand trying to break your window. Like, I get it, you have a nice car, but girl, it ain't that deep. And then she's talking about, she had to get out of there because, she was about ready to, what did she say? She said she would snatch Kenya up. I'm like, you gonna snatch Kenya up? Okay, go for it, sis. Go for it. So then Kenya does eventually, because she came there just for the fun of it. And, she rattled Marlo. She definitely did rattle Marlo at the end. But Marlo, now here's my thing with Marlo. Marlo does take some low-ass blows. Because Marlo started talking about her husband and child support and all. I'm like, really, Marlo? She ain't said nothing bad about you. She just shaded you with your edges. Like, come on. But, that was Real Housewives of Atlanta, you guys. So be sure to like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, share the video, and I will see you guys for Married to Medicine.